So this is the second lighting. Actually, done immediately after the first one, like almost stopped. Where I've added the rest of the material from the Catamaran. It was very, very rich in life form. Maybe with Neos, I didn't take a microscopic sample of it recently, but it's from April, so it smells like hell actually, and I'm glad to get rid of it because it wasn't properly sealed. It was in the dresser, like in the cabinet, and so I'm glad I'm going to throw away now the little bit. When the fire is stopped, I will throw it to the garbage because the container was not sealed and was here from April, so it was really the oldest container that was still singing in it, and there was like huge life form in it. Like a bacteria that you can see with your own eyes, like things you could not believe, and so I decided instead of just put it in another container, why not just put it like in the fire? So these life forms, it's actually, so it's interesting to see if they will, it will be difficult to say, but unless the results are very, very significant. But it's interesting, whether the life forms that are like the default life forms of the Neos create, that are, that we know for a long time ago that they are synthetic. They are not carbon based because the microbes stand alcohol, and iodine and things that are known to kill life, and these microbes, not only that they withstand, they can live in it. They are created in electrolysis mixture that is made from this material, like hydrogen peroxide, things that are known to kill life. So, but I'm not sure that this is this default, if there is a default. Maybe there's a million types, because they can be used on wax, and they can be used on they can be used on wax, and they can be used it can be created from wax or from all sorts of oil. There's so many materials that they can create life forms from. So maybe there is not one default, and and I have no way to do spectral analysis or think advanced ways to identify materials. Even I don't even have my simple stains, like microscopic stain with me. So the question whether there is kind of a standard, do they create maybe all the life forms that they create are maybe they are completely synthetic in a way that that they kind of they do not exist anywhere. That the Neos just of course they have no lot of life forms from here. They learn the life forms here. Because they are here, they are on me, they are with me, they are in me, and I'm always poisoned. So the Israelis keep my body as a laboratory for germs and viruses. So thank you very much, Israelis. Anyway, so the Neos, they are aware of many life forms. So maybe they create new ones based on their own calculation. Perhaps the fly that I understand from you. I'm not really certain, but correct me if I'm wrong. But I understood from several of the comments that the fly that we've seen that it was created in fire, or the several fires were actually, their morphology was not something that is known in Earth. Is that correct? Of course they are not Earth flies because they are created in the fire, but that they are not clones of a known type of fly, but only quote unquote resistant fire, but they're a new design. So please tell me if it's true or not. Anyway, so perhaps this new design is kind of literally new design, but maybe it's a bug that they know from the planet CTQ 108 from the sun, the PT 1211 from the galaxy, I don't know what, ZT5, I don't know. So maybe it's a real thing, and maybe they just created it by themselves. And maybe if you would ask them, they will tell you that there is no really difference between the two. But it's kind of over philosophizing. But a practical question would be now. Okay, so I've taken all the life forms that were created inside the electrolysis wax container, and I wanted to get rid of the container because it's not properly sealed and it became really menace and really stinking. So I placed all of it in two times, because it didn't fit one. So inside the crucible, and I've added a little bit of oil and turpentine and light it. And it's burning for quite a while now. So the question is, what will happen to these life forms? Will they all die in the fire? Or maybe they're like, maybe they will be great like in the fire. Like maybe, these life forms are, even though even though they were not created in the fire, they were created like in the electrolysis chamber in a mixture of like wax and oil and pee and maybe and a little bit of semen. Maybe they are all like, presumably maybe all of the life forms that the neos create like by default. If they are not like clones of like Earth life form, which they can also do for certain, or mutants. They can do so many stuff. They can mutate like life forms from Earth. They can, but if like they created from scratch, like designed from scratch, like the one that like presumably the flight that we've seen recently. So the question is whether these life forms are. Maybe they come from like all over the world, the universe. So there are like million answers, different answers, and maybe they are kind of like a completely new thing that they kind of like engineer here. But maybe all of them are actually demons, like that. The default life forms that for the neos is to create demonic, like what we might call like demonic robots or demonic animals. Which means that by default they all survive great in the fire, and if this is the case, that the default type of life form that they create are the demons, even if they are not created in the Crucible, like we've started to do only recently, relatively lately. Then the life forms that from the Catamaran should stand this fire very well, and this should be evident from the microscopic test, because if it's true, the samples should like show us like huge amount of life forms, and there are like horrible ones, because this was one of like as I said, it's my oldest container is from April, and like I've seen like terrorizing really horrifying like life forms in it, even like the ones that you can see in your own eyes. We will of course put all these questions to a test with microscopic sample, but this will be only done when the fire stops, because I want to keep the fire burning as much as possible. Please rescue me and my daughters from this Nazi hell, using arms and legs, without movement of mouths and tongues.